Welcome to Innovators Unscripted, the podcast for innovators by innovators. Today, Tina and I are so excited to welcome an amazing Google innovator from our very own Chicago cohort, Emily Thomas. Welcome, Emily. It's so great to see you. Before we dive in, can you give us a quick little intro to who you are and where you're coming from?
Absolutely. I am Emily Thomas. I am, as mentioned, a Google innovator. I'm also a trainer and a coach. I am from the Twin Cities metro area of Minnesota, and I have been working in education for, I think, 19 years, but maybe I just told you how old I am.
No, we're not doing that math. Don't you worry.
No math. Don't do the math.
No. So we always like to start with a little icebreaker. And for the Chicago cohort, we had a really unique thing where we had these trading cards.
I love the trading cards. They're so cool.
And at the beginning of the academy, we each got a whole pack of our own trading card. And it was part of our kind of mingling to be able to meet everyone and trade cards. And I have, Emily, I have your card right here from the academy. And on the back is a fun fact. I'm going to read your fun fact, and then maybe you can share with us the little story that goes with it. So it says, fun fact. I played a John Philip Sousa march on the Great Wall of China.
Yep.
All right, tell us.
Okay, so I don't know why, but my high school band director decided it would be a fun idea to take us all, like 70 high schoolers, to China on a band trip. And we all went, and we did a couple exchanges in a couple of different high schools, played like collaborative concerts that was super cool. And then one of the weird things that somehow got arranged, and I still to this day have no idea how, was playing like a concert on the Great Wall of China. And one of the things we played was a John Philip Sousa march, the Minnesota March. And yep, so that was one of the weirdest and also most fun things I've ever done. Just so weird.
That is amazing. I've never like left North America. I just realized that. I was like, huh. So that's okay. So the fact that you managed to pull that off in high school, like your schools hit different a little bit, just a little tiny bit. But that sounds absolutely brilliant. So I'm always the one who starts talking about the Google Innovator cohort. I always say like we're gonna hop back in. Our time machine doesn't go super far back. It goes to Chicago of 2024. Liz and I have had a lot of great Chicago 2024 people here on our podcast already, but we've realized every time we've talked to each different person that everybody has a completely different experience in the same room. And I know with like the design sprints and then with the Spark events and then with the whole project all together, can you tell us a little bit about your perspective of the Academy? Like what problem were you trying to solve? Any experience or memory that made it unique for you?
Oh man, it was such a phenomenal experience. Firstly, just like getting to be in the same room with 50 other like new innovators, and also all of the innovator coaches and the Googlers, and just all of these amazing people all working together and collaborating and sharing ideas is like one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. And I don't know that it'll ever happen again because it's just such like a powerful, like it's not even really 48 hours, but it feels like an entire lifetime in that such a short amount of time. My challenge that I brought in was how to amplify the voices of complex communicators. And I know we're going to get a little more into that, but bringing in a challenge that was kind of really niche, because it isn't just like amplifying all students' voices, but particularly those that are classified as complex communicators, really made it so that I had to like, I spent a good amount of time educating and teaching my we called ourselves the Sparkle Squad, my table. All of because we're all a bunch of geeks that were like unicorns and sparkles, and also pink, which I'm not the pink person of the group, but I went along with it because everybody else was a sparkles and pink person. I was like, I'm sparkles, but like sparkles on black is my vibe. You know, close enough. Like teaching them who complex communicators are and what their unique needs are so that we could kind of support each other and We've since talked about how we've all learned a ton from each other and our different projects because we all went in different directions to amplify voices of students and educators, but created really cool, powerful projects. Some completed, some still in progress, the whole spectrum, but an absolutely phenomenal group of people. And then talking to like other people that I didn't know, people who I made a great friend who lives 10 minutes from me, but I didn't know her because we work in different districts. And like now we hang out sometimes. I mean, not as often as I would like, but that's life, right?
That is so cool. What a great connection. I mean, sometimes you have to travel to other places to meet someone who lives close by to you. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
And
really,
I
really
totally
cool.
agree. Yeah, that space was just electric.
Hmm.
And you hear about people wanting to like recreate it, reinvent it, and it's just so hard to do. But I think Tina and I are really lucky in this space. Every time we talk to someone from our own cohort or from another cohort, you can feel that excitement like resurface and come back up. So we're really lucky we get to do that. But a big part of these projects is about failing forward and pivoting. We hear those phrases used a lot in this process. So I'm curious, thinking about your project just through that lens,
Hmm.
how has your thinking pivoted or evolved around your complex communicator project since the academy?
So the idea that I actually created so I'm gonna back up just a little bit to give like a little bit more context for listeners and viewers on YouTube. Hi, YouTube people. Uh, uh, a little context. So I work primarily with special education students. They have significant to profound disabilities. In Minnesota, we call it setting federal level 4. Other states call it setting C, setting D, but a self-contained classroom. And a lot of my students are complex communicators, meaning that they communicate with sign language using AAC, assistive and augmentative communications, oftentimes through an iPad app or through a phone app. They use Gestalt language, and I think I said sign language initially. So, yep, I always forget my order. So, students that a lot of the times the language that they produce in classrooms and outside of classrooms is just asking for something or like a request or responding to a very structured prompt. So not really giving them a chance to talk about whatever they want. And that's what I wanted to hear. I want to hear what they have to say. I love when students are just like, "Hey, this weekend I did," and then they just tell you this, 20-minute story. Like that's the coolest thing. But there isn't an opportunity for my complex communicators to do that. So that was the challenge I wanted to solve. The way that I approached it in the academy was prompting questions. So a lot of times students will use, especially AAC and Gestalt language communicators, will use one or two word phrases, but not give you a lot of details. I was inspired by one of my students. We were creating together in our makerspace, and she was telling me about an ice cream sundae. And I kept prompting her about, "Oh, did you eat the ice cream sundae?" And she just kept saying ice cream sundae, vanilla ice cream, chocolate sauce, whipped cream, no cherry on top. Very important, no cherry on top. I was like, "Are there sprinkles?" And she never responded to the sprinkles. Like, okay, so we're asking questions about it, but I don't know. I never got the answer of, was she excited about it? Did she eat one last night? Was it a special kind of treat that she was going to have with her family that she was looking forward to? Was it a ice cream sundae day at school that was coming up? I never got an answer to that. So my project was prompts. So using some of the features in Google Slides where, you can click and go to a different slide. So a student could click on an answer to a question and go in that direction. And I was like, yeah, this kind of starts. It was a really kind of beginnings of that process when I left the academy. And then I met with my amazing mentor, Lisa Berghoff, who's from Chicago, and she's phenomenal. And she's like, yes, but what if we didn't ask questions about what was already being said? What if we backed up a little more and just gave them the opportunity to say whatever they wanted without structure? And I was like, oh, there's an idea, just like light bulb moment. So my first idea, It's still not a bad idea. This like questions slides where you can prompt on a device is not a bad idea, but I put it in the project graveyard, which I don't remember who said that at the academy, but somebody said like have your project graveyard. And I definitely drew it a little tombstone and like it has some little grass, a little skull and crossbones, you know. You gotta play with it, right? So then Lisa was like, hey, what if we went back further? And that's where my project really found its legs and a direction that was going to be much more successful.
Okay. So it sounds like when you first started down this path, you very much went along with the idea that students were being not necessarily misunderstood, but there's an idea, I think, especially with teachers being in that position of those like people who work with students who have AAC tend to misunderstand what is possible when communicating with them. So you took this idea of that one element of your project and then it morphed into backing up that communication even further, which I think even amplifies voices more. So could you tell us a little bit because like it doesn't seem like it was a full-on project graveyard. It sounds like it was kind of like a momentary resurrection, but in like a different way. So
Mhm.
if you could so if you
I
could
like that. That's very kind.
nice. So if you could say like what expanded onto that space then if you like if you're saying like okay that idea was dead to me my mentor really helped me out and I like this because our listeners can hear how this process tends to happen a lot with innovators
Mhm.
like what did that open up or end up contributing to at this point.
So it actually connects to the super cool partnerships that were announced at the Chicago Academy. I was a part of the TED Ed cohorts, all about amplifying student voices and or educator voices. And they also announced, like gave us access to, really announce it because it had already existed, their student talks curriculum. And I was like, oh, there might be something there. And that's where Lisa was like, what if we took the student talks curriculum but made it work for complex communicators? And that was the like light bulb moment of like, right, no, that's the answer. We give them this semi-structured way because they still need some structure to have a direction, not just like, hey, here's a microphone, go talk about anything you want for 5 minutes. That's a recipe for one, not success for anybody. Because if somebody handed me a microphone to talk for 5 minutes, you'd get like, hi, test, test, yeah, everybody. Like it would just be bad, right? None of us would, you need some structure to that. So giving them that opportunity to kind of create and build that structure with them over the course of a long semester. We started in January, not February, and went through the end of May, but the students worked through this modified curriculum and then did TED Talks, which yeah, it was the coolest thing. It's the best.
I have goosebumps. I love this story so much. And when you shared it at our like end of cohort meeting, it's just, I mean, tears, all the happy tears and all the
Oh yeah.
feels of this
I do
whole
tear
thing.
up every single time I talk about it, and I'm like talking about it at ISTE next week, and I'm like, hold on, okay, how can we make that not happen? Because I'm
No,
just
but
so
it's
proud of these
part of
kids.
it because it's so like it just speaks to your core. Like it speaks to us as humans and knowing that there's this opportunity now to share something that was stuck inside that couldn't be shared and now you've created this avenue for that. It's just it's incredible. Can you share
Yeah.
with us maybe just one little mini story of impact that you've seen?
Oh, I mean, I have too many, but I will pick one. It is from my buddy. Her name is Ba, and she is a wheelchair bound student who uses an intervener to communicate a lot. So she does have vocal speech, but it is frequently difficult to understand. And she understands sign language as well as spoken word. So she has someone who works with to support her all day in school. And she absolutely loved TED Talks, and she would come to school every single day and say, is it Thursday TED Talks with Emily? And 4 of the 5 days, they had to tell her, nope, it's Tuesday, it's not Thursday. We don't have TED Talks with Emily. And it's been over a year. We did this in spring 2025. So like a full year ago, they did their TED Talks. And she still sees me and she's like, Thursday TED Talks with Emily. And I'm like, it's nope. But yep, I will come hang out with you on Thursdays anytime I can. You're the best.
That is such a great story. And I think it's that idea of building relationships and to Liz's point, like really making an impact with what you started. I'm kind of interested now to hear because you're a technology integration analyst,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So how do you see technology working in the realm of your job as well as helping other teachers to feel confident supporting students who communicate in different ways? Like obviously you found the way to really get them excited to want to be engaged with this. You figured out a way to incorporate technology. You figured out a way to do an interest like TED Talks. Like, how could you help other teachers feel confident in that same space?
So one of the things that I have done is I like to just share everything I create and give it away for free because that's what we do in education. We beg, borrow, and steal from each other. So I would like to just put it out there and share it. So I took all of the slides that I created over I don't remember how many weeks it was now, and I kind of edited out the personal things so that it was not because I had, student pictures and specific student names and that kind of stuff in it, but made it so that somebody else could take those slides and with very few modifications go present them to their classroom. And I think that's a good place to start of not having to like create it. Along with that, I put together a detailed lesson plan explaining what I did because sometimes you see someone else's slides and you're like, I have no idea what any of your that means. I have no idea what you're doing. So I was like, no, well, I'll explain to you what I did and why I did it and give you that like structure to take and use. So that's one way that I like to share it. And then just encouraging people to take small steps. I didn't start with being like, okay, so we're going to have this video production of, recorded TED Talks from 5 students that it's going to be everybody's going to be invited and I'm going to make sure that the superintendent and all the families are able to be there. I was like, hey, I'm going to talk to this instructional coach. Hey, let's get a couple students together and try this wild idea and see where we go. And we didn't even have a firm plan that this was going to be like a presentation until about halfway through. I would say March. We were like, hey, so I think we might actually be able to do something with this. Let's pick a date, get some invites out to families and to district leadership so they can be there. And then I bugged our director of technology to help me out with the recording. I was like, hey, so I can't do 2 things at once. Can you please take an hour out of your day and come help me with this recording and make sure that we get good video, good audio, so that then the families have those as well. So the students have them, the families have that recording so that it is kind of something that they can save and go back to and watch whenever they want.
What a monumental success story of the Innovator program. Like that's all I keep thinking of when you talk. Like you had this really impossible question, and
Mhm.
part of the program is asking the hard questions and bringing the hard problems and not shying away from them, right? Like I've
Yeah.
actually trying to do with so many projects fizzle out, hit walls. Like your project, it seems like you took the right amount of care and intention. You also had some like good luck and humans along the way supporting
Oh,
you.
definitely did.
But that midway point when you were like, wait a second, like we actually have something here. And
Yeah.
then to be able to carry it through and then share it, it's just, I mean, it's like poster for the Innovator
Yeah,
program. Like,
I mean, since then we've hit some road bumps, and honestly, my biggest road bumps for this project has been weather, which is kind of wild.
hmm,
We were supposed to do like a district-wide professional development day, right before Thanksgiving in November, and Minnesota got a big snowstorm. It happens in November in Minnesota, but big snowstorm means that we're not bringing all 600 staff members into a building to do professional development. So though then that was pushed out till April. So I was supposed to share how all of the teachers could start doing TED Talks like in the spring and hey, I'll help you in next year and we'll do another version of this. But because it was pushed out to April, which we also almost had a snowstorm for that second one in April, weather, man, it's wild.
Wow.
We didn't though that we ended up being good for that one, but I wasn't. And then I was in April. I was like, well, I'm supposed to be encouraging you all to like do TED Talks with your students, but it's April. We're
There's
just like making it to the end of the school year at this point. So the year two hasn't really existed. So like that's kind of a bummer, but year one was really successful. And I think I will just, remind people again in August when they come back, be like, hey, let's try this again. And I've got a little short list of the most interested teachers so I can kind of start with them. But, it's like that was kind of a bummer, but that's life, right? There's nothing you can do about a snowstorm.
Absolutely. And you have this strong foundational like use case and model and like you said, all of the resources.
Yeah.
So thinking about like asking the hard questions, like facing the hard problems and moving forward, like you're such an advocate, you're so inspiring and amazing. How would you say the Innovator program itself has shaped your view of advocacy around like accessibility and student voice?
That is such a good question. And I think it's just made me more passionate about making sure that students have access to resources, they have opportunities to share their voice, but also like share things that they've created and other ways that they want to express themselves. It may not be through doing a TED Talk. That's okay. That's not the correct route for everybody. But there are other ways that I want to just hear what they have to say. And I think just giving them spaces to create and whatever that looks like is so powerful because they're going to make things that are even more awesome than you could have imagined because they are awesome. And then also just believing that every student is capable, can achieve awesome things. Some students may just need a little bit more of a scaffold or a little bit more support to get there in the end. It might take them a little longer, but they can still do the awesome, amazing things. And that's what we're here for as educators, is to support our students and what they need.
That is 1,000% true. I think I'm always trying to wrap up and I'll do it again at the end where like my biggest takeaway from that is that every student is capable of doing awesome and amazing things. So understanding that, like what is one thing you think any teacher, any educator could start doing tomorrow to support a student? Like it doesn't have to be AAC, like it could be any type of like pie in the sky. What is something you're like, you know what? I think the biggest thing you should try tomorrow is this one thing.
Oh, you're asking the really hard ones. Okay. Every teacher can can I say two?
Yes,
I don't have one. I have two.
brilliant.
Because I never just have one answer, right? I always have more than one answer. Um, let your students just like tell you what's going on in their life. Just give them a space to talk to you. Because baseline, you're a human and they're a human. Like you can build a relationship there. You can start to get to know them. They have awesome things to tell you. I mean, I have had so many students tell me about so many video games that I have never heard of. But now I'm like, oh yeah, cool. That's so great. Like I love that you are excited about this. Please tell me more. I have no idea what the video game is. I've got nothing. It's not my thing, but I love to hear about it because they're excited about it. And the other thing is like this is one of the like this is my little a tiny soapbox, but it's like the world's smallest soapbox. So I'm gonna get my world's smallest soapbox. Use UDL principles in your classroom. Like think about designing for everyone, designing for the different ways that students engage, different ways you can represent your students, and advocate for assistive technology that they may need, whether it's like something that's on their Chromebook, something that's in your classroom, making sure that your classroom like amplification system actually works, putting captions on your YouTube videos, making sure that the YouTube videos you use in your classroom have mostly accurate captions. Like using those tools because that like you if it's designed with that in mind, everybody is better. There's and I can't remember who the quote is from. I think it was a Minnesota politician, but it's we all do better when we all do better. I think it's a Paul Wellstone quote, but it's similar to like I don't know, similar to the a when the a tide raises all boats
Yep.
kind of quote. I think it's Paul Wellstone. Okay, when I'm gonna look it up and you guys can edit this, so I can tell you for sure.
I love it. We can have it on the
Brilliant.
bottom. That's my favorite soapbox, so thank you. And I think it
Okay, I was right. It is a Minnesota politician. It is Paul
Yes.
Wellstone, and it's we all do better when we all do better.
I love that. That's so awesome. And yes, thank you. You're welcome to step on that soapbox anytime because it is the like if we're gonna get on one, that's the one, right? Like we need to
Yeah,
be
and that's
meaningfully designing for all of our students, not to
yep.
check a box. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. And also let's do it. Like
Yeah, let's do it. And it doesn't have to be redesigning everything you've ever done. It could be as simple as clicking the CC button on the YouTube video. Like
right.
that's not a hard thing to click, but it now makes it so that not only students who learn better by reading, students who are English language learners, students who just need a little bit help with their auditory processing can understand it. Like it's easy. And also double check that they're accurate-ish because the auto-generated ones are sometimes questionable.
Definitely, especially from older videos. But I
Or
think
sometimes they're randomly in, other languages just for fun.
I've
Because
seen that too.
YouTube doesn't know.
I think that just shows, like, everything you say just shows the care and intentionality that you put into everything. Every word you say to students is done with care. Every button you push on a tech device is done with intention. And that is something that I hope everyone, I'm certainly taking away from this, and I hope that our listeners take away too.
I
Uh,
hope so too, because I mean, that's what it is, right? We're not in this, we're not in education for the big money and the fame and the glory. We're in it because we care about our students and we want to see them succeed. That's the bottom line, right? It's why we do this.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the fame and the glory, I
I
heard you say something about going to ISTE next week and
I
presenting. What do you have coming up? What's so exciting? What's going on?
oh, I am sharing the student TED Talks at ISTE on Tuesday. So if you want to come see more, but I don't know if this is out before then, but it is a recorded session, so you can find it if you're a virtual participant as well. So make sure to check that out and, come say hey.
That's awesome. Do you have anything else going on that you want to plug or talk about while
I
we're here?
mean, I also help run the Makerspace Playground at ISTE, which is going to be on Wednesday, and we have like 12, 15 fantastic presenters, and it's all around things that you can make and then take with you back to your classroom. So you'll go back with a ton of really fun ideas for STEM in your classroom and take them away with you.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, now you've just convinced me I'm going to check a bag because I wasn't sure I was going to
No,
before.
check a
And now
bag.
you've just convinced me so I can go to to the maker space. That's awesome.
Yeah, lots of cool. I know we have somebody who's doing electronic wearables.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? You got to come check it out. It's Wednesday, July. Yep, July 1st at some time that I don't know off the top of my head. It's in the schedule.
It'll be great. Do you have like a social media handle or other things that people can look you up if they are not able to go to ISTE?
Absolutely. I am on all of the different platforms, EKT EdTech, on Instagram, X, although I don't really post much there. That's just cross-posting, Threads, Blue Sky, across the board. And I'm also on LinkedIn. Just search Emily Thomas, Minnesota, and I will show up.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for venturing over here from Minnesota on this lovely journey today. I always try and wrap up one of the best things that I take with me from our sessions. And I think the idea of giving every single student a voice and your beautiful passion and the idea of how your project is. And I'm so excited that you're taking it to ISTE to share it, because I think that idea of just taking a minute and building a relationship with a student is probably one of the most important things. So I'm excited that you get to share it to that whole massive group of people, because you totally deserve it. You've helped me out with a lot of things going down my path and things too. So a big thank you for that. The other thing that I took with me is that we all do better when we all do better. So let's keep that in mind. And if you
Yeah.
want to, and
I'm
if you
bringing it
want
back.
to, bring it
He,
all back.
yeah, bringing back Paul Wellstone,
I
Minnesotan
think
politician from the late 90s.
the late 90s, and then like he's not around anymore, right?
No, he passed away in a plane crash in the early 2000s.
I thought there was something that happened, so I kind of remember that a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
So, so
He's
we'll
still
just take.
Minnesotans know he's like one of our local heroes around here. So
Aw.
yeah,
Okay, so you've heard it now here with everybody, you guys, that when we all do better, when we all do better,
we
in
all do better when
memory
we all do
of
better.
with Paul Wellstone. So we have to remember that idea. See, I'm trying to remember what you said, so that works out good. If you are a Google Innovator and you want to come on to the podcast and share some more awesome ideas and things that have happened to you since the Innovator Academy, if you just got into the Innovator Academy and you want to share your brand new experience of how that went, or if you're even going into one of the Innovator Academies and you want to share what that feels like, then go ahead and sign up to be on our podcast. We are looking forward to seeing Emily and any other Google Innovators if you're going to ISTE. Liz and Emily and I apparently all will be there, so come and give us a shout out and look for us. If not, then come and listen to us on our next podcast, and remember to stay connected, stay inspired, and keep it unscripted.